So today's pickups comes from a place that I started selling at recently. It's called the Sky Village. Now this place looks like a backlot for films like Pale Rider or The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And speaking of which, there was a lot of that at this place. There was a lot of interesting things to look at over here. So on Saturday, I did a test run of whatever overstock that Richard gave me. I spread out 3 pretty nice sized tables, and I just filled it full of all the games, all the toys, the Legos, comic books, you know, everything that I had, and pushed it out to the market, you know, just see if people would even buy it or budge and whatnot. And well, needless to say, I was a hit. Yeah, I was the only person there selling pop culture items like video games and toys and whatnot. There was a couple of booths that sold some stuff, but they didn't have nearly the volume that I had. So customers were just coming to me from, you know, left and right. A lot of them were just wanted to hang out and just have a conversation about some of the games that I was selling and whatnot. You know, games that they had or games that they wanted. And I sold a good amount of all that stuff, and I was pretty proud of myself. And you know, I met a lot of really nice people, and I think that's the reason why I sell out in the wild instead of out on eBay. It's because of that interaction. I really enjoy meeting all the people there and really connecting with those who are gamers and collectors, you know, like me. Okay, enough ranting, right? It's time to get to the meat of the potatoes. Meat of the potatoes. So during this time of scouting the location and setting up the booth and doing all the sales and whatnot, I of course got a chance to meet with some of the vendors and, you know, purchase a couple things here and there. Here's one of the things I got. This is a game called Beyond Oasis. Now, I have never heard about this game until I picked it up. And it's actually a very interesting looking title. In fact, it's pretty much the Sega Genesis counterpart to Chrono Trigger on the old Super Nintendo. Yeah. So I haven't played it yet, but you know, since I was told something like that, it's got me pretty hyped to play this pretty obscure title. I was getting some B-roll footage on Sunday, and as I was doing that, I saw this one vendor there, and you know, he had some tripods, a couple of electronics here and there, you know, monitor, but he also had some Nintendo games, and some of them were actually boxed. It looked like they were in mint condition. He had one, he had, what was it, Joe? He had Jeopardy. It was in the box. I didn't bother to open it. I didn't care because I wasn't really gonna pick that one up. But this one I had to pick up. This is a Wheel of Fortune for the old NES. Now this thing is damn near mint condition. I mean, for the exception of this little crease that's on the box, this thing looks brand new. In fact, it still has the plastic that's wrapped around the cartridge, and the manual looks brand new. It looks like it was just printed. It almost makes me think that this might be a reproduction card. Who would go to the trouble for Wheel of Fortune, right? I mean, this has to be good. This has to be the real deal. I don't know. I'm gonna probably get this one graded, you know, maybe a few years down the line when games become more scarce. And the way things are going, it should be pretty soon.
Red snapper. It's very tasty.
Now this next title I got was pretty obscure, which is okay by me because I'm really starting to collect more obscure titles. Why? Because, well, that's the cheaper way to really build your NES collection these days. Anyway, this one right here is Vegas Dreams on the old NES. Again, it's an obscure title. I've never heard of it, but you know, I want to check it out. I bet you it's got a lot of, you know, some poker stuff, you know, some Texas Hold'em. Obviously, it's got a roulette table. It's got some slots and stuff. You know, it's got all the fun things that you do when you're gambling, only better because you don't have to worry about losing any money. Now, the week before I was selling, you know, doing my location scouting, I ran into this one vendor who claims to be the first reseller ever. He was like, when Nintendo first came out, he was the first guy to ever sell used games, and then Blockbuster went and copied him, and all the video stores went and copied him. And I'm just looking through this guy like, dude, stop being full of shit, stop living your glory days, okay? The titles you have are not all that. You know, I gotta give him a little bit of credit. He did have a couple of games that I wanted to get my hands on. And, well, I had to do a little bit of negotiation, but fuck it. One of them was Metroid. Now, I wanted this to complete my collection of the old school Metroid games. I already have Metroid 2 on Game Boy, and of course, Super Metroid, aka Metroid 3 on the Super Nintendo, my personal favorite of all the Super Nintendo games. And I just wanted this for a future episode because I do want to talk about Metroid. I love Metroid. It is a great series. The next one I got from him was just it's a title that I think belongs in everybody's collection. If you're collecting NES, I think you should have this title in there. That is Final Fantasy. Yeah. Now, I don't play much RPGs, but I'm really motivated ever since getting Beyond Oasis to really try my luck on some good old-fashioned RPGs. And Final Fantasy is pretty much one of the best, if not the best, RPG on the old NES. Besides Dragon Warrior, of course. This is a Chrome GameCube. I actually had a GameCube at one time, but it's a story for another time, and I lost a lot of stuff. But for now, I'm lucky I got this back. I paid $25 for it. It didn't have the AV cables, but I did have an S-video cable that I was able to use for this. And it works like a charm. So now I'm able to play all my Resident Evil games on here. Thank God I still have those, right? Keep in mind, when you're shopping around for a console at a flea market, it's a crapshoot. It may work perfectly, or it may not work at all. And that's just a chance you're just going to have to take if you want to get something at a decent price. I had this one vendor that came up to me and said that he had a PS3 and an Xbox for sale, and he was willing to sell them to me for $10 for both. And I asked him why so low, and he said he didn't know how to price them, and he didn't know how to push them. He figured, you know, he saw all the stuff on my table and thought that I could make better use of them and actually be able to get a better price for them once I got them all fixed up. And so that's what he did. He ended up selling me both the consoles for $10. Now, it wasn't a PS3, it was actually this right here. This is a PlayStation 2, and it is just, it's not gonna work. I agreed to the deal not for the PS2, I agreed to the deal for this. That is an original Xbox, and it was dirty or whatnot, but I've seen Xboxes that look worse and fire up perfectly. These things are beasts. They're straight up workhorses. They will work even in the fucking rain. It is crazy. And of course, you know, these things don't work 100%. Not all of them will work 100%. And now this being fired up perfectly, I get a screen that means the hard drive is working, which means it can be soft modded. However, the DVD-ROM doesn't read any of the games. So without that, I can't really soft mod it. So what I'm probably gonna do is, I have another Xbox, so what I'm gonna do is probably do a temporary transplant, if you will, and just to get it soft modded, and then swap the drives back, and probably sell this little guy at a cheaper price, maybe 30-40 bucks. 30-40 bucks for a soft modded Xbox. Put an 80 gig hard drive in there, fill it up with a bunch of games. I think people will go for it. I hope. On the way home, my wife and I saw a bunch of yard sale signs. There's a yard sale here, a yard sale like a couple blocks away and whatnot. So I was like, you know what? It's midday. Why not? So we cruised around. We looked at some of these yard sales. Now we came up to this one, and the person was selling some PlayStation games and whatnot. And I asked them if they had any older games, and that person said, yeah, but they sold it earlier, and they were gonna throw away this box they had. And they were like, yeah, there's no game in this one, so I'm gonna throw it away. And I was like, my eyes light up, because the box was for Legend of Zelda. Yeah, this is a really, really nice looking box, and it even has the manual inside. The only problem with this manual is that I think it got submerged in water or whatnot, because the pages are really sticky.
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! 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 You're so stupid!
So that's my pickups video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, comment on the video, tell me what you guys enjoyed, tell me what I should be looking for, all that good stuff. And if you guys haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, because I got a bunch of new content on the way. Until next time, peace out.
我爱北京天安门，天安门上太阳升，伟大领袖毛主席指引我们向前进。我爱北京天安门，天安门上太阳升，伟大领袖毛主席指引我们向前进。
Fuck this cowboy shit! You fucking ho dunk, po dunk, well then there, motherfuckers!